Hey guys, and welcome to your fall equinox energy update. So if you guys are not familiar with the fall equinox, basically the fall equinox sets the tone. It's the first day going into fall, going into autumn. Now we have two equinox each year. We have the spring equinox and we have the fall equinox. If you guys missed my video on the spring equinox, I'll try to remember to link it up here, mainly because I talk about how that's the first day of the natural year. It starts a seasonal year, and there's progression, and when we work with the energies, now we can move forward in a certain type of way. I will give a very brief description of it, just so you guys can know what I'm talking about, but if you guys are interested in working with the energies of the seasonal year, you guys can check out that video as well. But basically, with the equinoxes, what happens is the day and the night are equal time, meaning there's not extra time in the day versus the night. It's like an equal 50-50, exactly spread out equally time. And when this happens, then we're going to go into a new season. And so why do we need to know this, though? Well, this is what I was going to talk about, the spring equinox. So Shirley put the spring equinox kind of plants the seeds. This is creation energy. This is baby energy. This is the beginning of a brand new cycle. This is where, again, what happens in spring, we plant the seeds, okay? So this starts the beginning of a year. Into the summer, when you go into the summer solstice, what happens is all of those seeds you start to see planted and they start to come into fruition. Here comes in your manifestations. Everything is becoming ripe and ready for the picking, and you get to go enjoy all those manifestations because you laid that groundwork and you work at the spring equinox. You get the payoff in the summer, and it's like, oh, things start coming in, things start landing in your lap, manifestations arrive, all that type of stuff. Well, we want to keep working with the seasonal year, right? And so then we go into the fall. What happens in the fall? Okay, so we've been manifesting, all this stuff has been happening, but it's still at the very beginning. Because think about it, the spring you plant the seed, but in the summer the thing just comes up out of the ground, right? And then we have to wait to pick the cherry, to pick the apple, to pick the tomato. Like, think about an actual seed in the garden, right? And so you've got to do that all summer. Everything was ripe for the picking, and so you were kind of like basking in the glory. But like, then what happens in the fall, you don't go out to your garden anymore. It's time to end the gardening season. So what would happen is now you get to bask in all the glory. Now, here's the thing, we're also preparing for winter, but we want to sit in that energy. We get to reap all the rewards. All the stuff we sowed is now coming into us, into completion. The fall equinox is also a time of completion, okay? There's a couple things that happen with it. Not only is it completion, it's also a type of harvest. So we're also getting ready for the next seasonal year. So it's, again, okay, I've got all my tomatoes, I've got all my squash, I've got all my stuff in my garden. All of the stuff came in, and so now I get to sit with it, and I get to enjoy it, and I get to reap all of the benefits that came in, because everything you've been working at probably kept coming in all summer if you worked with the spring equinox. And here it's coming and coming and coming, and now we're at the end where it's like, whoa, I finally reached the finish line. Look at how much I've achieved. Look at that milestone. Look at all the riches. Look at all the rewards. Look at how many apples I got. Like, oh my God, my apple tree just provided up apples all winter. Like, I've got enough apples. Like, sit with your apples and enjoy your apples, right? So the fall equinox, it's like literally things might be closing out, but at the same time, it's not necessarily closing in a bad way, because you've got this huge lap of luxury and beauty, and just sit in that, bask in that glory of abundance, because look at how far you've came. Also, maybe you want to take stock, like, look at everything that came. I worked hard, and I planted the seeds in the spring. And then all the stuff came into the summer, so I got to work hard. Look at where I'm now, and like reflect back on everything that's happened, because look at all the stuff. Look at all the glory. Look at all the stuff that's been paying off. And so you can take stock, you can reflect, things come into completion, you get to reap the rewards. It's like all of this energy comes to you because you aligned with the energies. It's a moment of grace and gratitude and abundance and harvest and joy. There's all of this beautiful energy with the fall equinox. So what do we want to do on the fall equinox, right? We want to manifest still, because it's like a portal. Think of it like a portal. Let's manifest. So what do we want to do? Well, hey, if you did work at the spring equinox, you probably set a seasonal year intention. So if you're a third of the way in, what else do you need to do to get through the next 2 seasons until we start a new year? You can work with that energy. Now, if you guys are brand new to my channel and you didn't know to work with spring equinox, no worries, no worries, no worries. You can start working the fall equinox just as it is. So what do? Here's what I want you to think. I want you to think bigger than just a normal manifestation, right? If a portal happens, maybe you do a manifestation for the day. If a moon happens, maybe it's for 2 weeks, maybe it's for 4 weeks. We have all the way till December 21st. So what is it you want to achieve? What is it you want to accomplish? What is it you want to do between now, September 22nd and December 21st? You've got several months. So go manifest something that's going to take a few months, that it's going to align with those energies, right? The fall equinox is not the time to do a 5-year plan, right? At the spring equinox, you could do a year plan, right? We want to think, oh, I've got a few months till December. What can I achieve? And then work on those being your goals, your intentions, your manifestations. Set the manifestations of what you want to achieve by then, because in comes winter, and it's wrapping out the whole cycle, the whole seasonal year. It's like no action. So get your stuff in now, because when winter comes, you're probably not going to see much movement. And don't worry, I'll be talking all about the winter solstice come December, right? So think about, and what can you do to get there on a daily basis? What can you do to get there on a weekly basis? What can you do to get there each month to bring your manifestation here? Have that be your intention. Have that be the energy you want to work with, because we're talking on a grander scheme of scheme. What is the saying I'm trying to say? Grander scheme of scale. I don't know. I'm sure somebody knows what I'm trying to say here. But we're talking about the bigger picture, meaning not just I'm trying to manifest something for tomorrow and that instant manifestation. No, what do I want to achieve over the next few months? What can I do? And how do I get there? And build a roadmap. Have that be your manifestation. What you can do daily, weekly, monthly to get to all the way the winter solstice, December 21st, okay? All right, there's one other thing I do want to highlight at this time, guys. And I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to do a new moon video, and I'll go into a little bit of a deeper energy with it. But guys, we have 6 planets in retrograde in Chiron. So to have this many astrological bodies all in retrograde at this time, I just want to highlight this as well. This is the most we'll have all year, and next year we may not have this many, and last year we probably didn't have as many, and it will fluctuate. And so since we have so many in retrograde, I also do want to mention about how the past can be coming up, and it's a good time to reflect and revise stuff from the past, and that may even be an intention you want to set to work with and have that kind of change and transition over the next couple months. But I do just want to highlight that because, again, we want to work with the energies. So while we have so many retrograde, it is a time to revisit the past. So work with that as well if that feels called to you. But yeah, so that's a shortly put, the short version of what the fall equinox is. But yeah, now we're going to transition into a pick a card. So I have a deck here, and what I want to do is I just want to pull you guys a quick fall equinox message. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do is to decide on a number between 1 and 3, and that number you decide on will signify your reading. So this will be the strongest message for you during this fall equinox season, because remember, it will last a little bit, right? We got a couple months of the fall. So this may be what you need to know, what to work with, what to look out for, what to be advised, what to manifest with, but this will be your message for the fall equinox. So decide on a number, 1, 2, or 3. Once you decide on that number, you can check the description of the video, because I'll have timestamps there and you can jump straight ahead. But let's jump in. If you chose number 1, this is your fall equinox message. Okay. Okay. Okay, you got 2 cards. Look at that. 2 of them jumped out. So we have delight and adventures. Here's what I want to say with this, because the adventure, you know what it honestly feels like? The adventures feel like, sure, be spontaneous with it. Here's what I'm hearing with this, though. With great risk comes great reward, meaning sometimes I take a big risk. With big risk comes big reward, and things might be paying out because the delight is next to it. So don't be afraid to get outside of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to go do something adventurous. Don't be afraid to go explore. Don't be afraid to take that risk, because here it is. It feels like the reward. Here's the delight, the satisfaction. It also can mean, right? You took that risk and invested in you, maybe over the spring equinox or the summer solstice or whatever it is. Maybe you're doing it now, but here it is. I took that risk. I get the reward. I don't know. I know the cards don't say it, but that's the energy I'm picking up that comes in, this big risk. And it has a big payoff. It has a big delivery. It has an abundance check. It has this great delight, satisfaction, okay? So card 1, here is your fall equinox message. All right, so if you chose number 2, this is your fall equinox message. There we go. Purification. I love this, but look at what it is. It's a freaking sunflower. Look at how beautiful that is. And you might be uncovering the beauty within you. Here's the thing. Purifying yourself. Do you need to do a cleanse? Maybe that's in order. But here's what I'm really feeling, because purification, that's great. Here's the thing with law of attraction, law of vibration. Whatever happens internally on a cellular level is going to tell you what's going to happen outwards, right? You want to know why your manifestation's not working? Look at what's going on the cellular level. And so that's why I do want to highlight the energy of purification, because we might be doing some cleanses and purifying yourself. But you know what also kind of goes with this is huge release. Because what happened, interesting enough, right? We talked about planting the seeds for the fruit, for the flowers, for the trees, all that stuff. Well, hey, it's spring equinox. You plant those seeds, and then what happens in the summer? Here comes the big sunflower, right? Shining bright. But also, here it is. Now, what's going to happen going in the fall? The sunflower is going to go bye-bye for a little bit, right? But that's okay. And that's part of the process, because sometimes we have to let things go to bring them back in. And this might be more about releasing stuff to purify you. Because here's that sunflower, now bright, but in the spring, it's got to go. It's got to go. It's got to be released. Even when we purify stuff within, sometimes we have to get rid of those little toxins, those stuff that are no longer serving us. Maybe it is a cellular thing. Maybe it's a person. Maybe it's a place. But here's the thing. When we release them, purify it, what comes out afterwards? Well, beauty, grace, a lot of vibrational upgrades, a lot of shining bright. Because here's the thing. One, that sunflower is always going to come back, right? But also, it just feels so positive. It feels uplifting. It feels like now is the time to shine. Now is the time to stand tall, stand true, be bright. Don't be afraid to be the sunflower. Okay? And how we get to be the sunflower, again, we might have to release a little bit. Release a little bit. We have to purify ourselves from things that are no longer serving us. Limiting beliefs, toxic behavior patterns, maybe some people, maybe some places, whatever it is. But when we release them, we're purifying ourselves. And then we can even step into that sunflower essence. And here's the thing, even though that sunflower may not be outside in the garden anymore, I'm literally looking at some. Guys, I wish you guys could see it. My neighbor has a whole bunch of them. Like, it's crazy. It's literally right there. But even as the sunflower has to go away in the fall, it doesn't mean that you can't step in that sunflower essence. So sure, you planted the seeds in the spring, it shined its beautiful, graceful energies in the summer, and then when it goes away in the fall, it's your time to be the sunflower. So card 2, can you be the sunflower until the next spring? It's calling you. Step up into your sunflower energy. Maybe we need to purify and release. But remember, you are the sunflower. Have that essence, okay? All right. If you guys chose number 3, then this is your fall equinox message. There we go. All right. We have enlightenment. Oh, God, this card came out and I was like, at last, especially, man, there's like a ship there sailing away off into the abyss of like the ethers. Maybe even some dream travels could be going on here a little bit, because the night sky is illuminated here. So I do want to highlight you might be getting some dream messages, and if you don't, maybe it's a good time to carry a dream journal. I want to leave that as a side note, but I was just like, wow, this feels like the night sky, and so I wanted to highlight that. But enlightenment, okay, here's what I want to say with this. There's only one thing of the journey, and I don't want to say for people, meaning, oh my God, I'm trying to reach enlightenment, and what will be my chakras, and how am I going to get to this beautiful state of enlightenment? No, you're not going to reach enlightenment and then stay in it forever. What happens is you'll have many enlightenment moments. You'll have this moment of oneness, of true beauty, of unlimited grace and love and unconditional love and expansion. But the enlightenment is all the lessons you've learned so far. You learn this grander scheme lesson, and then you have this epiphany, then you have this aha moment, then you have this, right, release, and you're like, oh, I get it. Like all of the dots, they check, they come together. It's like, oh, it's like everything comes together. And so you have this beautiful moment of enlightenment because you figured it out. But guess what? You never stay in it, and that's okay, because then you'll have more. You'll be in charge of another task. Your soul will come up to you and say, hey, you accomplished this. You had this beautiful enlightenment moment. Now, because I know you can do so well, I'm going to give you another thing to overcome. Maybe another thing to conquer, another thing that you can get through. And when you get to the other side of it, you will have another enlightened moment. This will show your strength and character. This will show your beauty and grace. This will show how much you can overcome in adversity, because you can look back and reflect and see, I came so far. I learned this lesson. Soul growth, right? And then you evolve. And because you you get off the karmic cycle, right? You get off the karmic wheel. But because you learn that lesson, that's how you get you want to reach enlightenment, because you get off the karmic wheel. You keep going around and around and around, you haven't learned that lesson. It's going to make you dizzy, okay? You can't get out of that soul cycle of karma. But when you learn the lesson, you get off the karmic wheel, and what happens is enlightenment. That's the reward. That's the reward for figuring out the karma. That's the reward for letting go and learning the lesson. You learn the lesson, in comes your angels and guides with this epiphany, aha, enlightening moment, and here they are to deliver it to you. Now don't rush through that energy. Sit in it, enjoy it, bask in it, be grateful for it, be humble for it, right? And don't forget it along the way. So many people have these great enlightening moments and then they forget it and they get stuck in the everyday life with the matrix, and then they don't remember what that moment taught them. And sometimes you get back on that karmic wheel, but you don't have to. Have that lesson carry with you forever and always, and take in multiple. Like, here's my enlightening moment, here's my enlightening moment, here's my enlightening moment. Put them in your heart center, keep them close to you. It'll keep you humble, it'll keep your heart open, stay grateful to them. But be prepared and be open, and here they come, because you might be closing out a big cycle. And so what's going to happen when you let go and release and you get off the karmic wheel? Ta-da, enlightening. So card 3, that is your fall equinox message. And guys, that wraps up our fall equinox energy update. So if you guys got anything out of this video, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button this way. I know you got something that resonated. If you guys haven't already subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. There's a bell too. You want to hit the bell and turn on all notifications. Why? Because I do daily videos and I don't want you guys to miss out on any upcoming messages. That next message just might be the message that you need to hear today. All right, my loves. Thanks so much for watching. Till next time, be blessed.